Wow, you just never know how a random encounter with somebody is going to completely change your life. And speaking of random, as I was applying my lipstick this morning, it occurred to me that a pint-sized woman in a dress probably isn't the person you'd be expecting to give a talk about archaeology. If you look through your program, this is probably a little bit unexpected. But today, I'm actually here to get you guys thinking about doing things a little bit, let's say, unconventionally. So, in my youthful ignorance of the real world, I pursued an advanced degree in anthropology. Don't let your children do that. But once I graduated, I realized that if I was ever going to pay off my student loans anytime in this lifetime, I was going to have to figure out a way to use my conventional skills and knowledge in unconventional ways. So when most of us think about archaeology, we think about mummies, we think about tombs, we think about vast deserts and lost civilizations, right? And of course, digging up fascinating artifacts that just might be the key to unlocking an ancient mystery. But I had a thought. What if the principles of archaeology could be applied in a different context? What if they could be applied in a way that's a heck of a lot more modern and girly? Well, it turns out they totally can. And I'm about to share with you a simple but very intriguing example of how I've done just that. So, like I said, and you can tell by looking at me, I'm a girly girl from way, way back, and I prefer things like lipsticks, dresses, and purses to bug spray, cargo shorts, and shovels. But what I like most about purses in particular is that they serve as a living archaeological record. And they are chock full of fascinating artifacts. So just like conventional archaeology uses artifacts to provide us with insights into humans and cultures of the past, my process, which I call the purse process, uses artifacts to gain insights into humans in the present. So what kinds of insights am I really talking about here, though? The fact that you're messy or very neat? No, actually, deep insights. The artifacts in a woman's purse can provide insights into things like what she believes about herself. Is she a confident and capable woman, or does she suffer with low self-esteem? They can also provide us with insights into what a woman believes about the world around her. Is the world a safe place or an unsafe place? There's very little difference between how I've used the principles of archaeology on purses and what you might do digging out in the desert. They work within the same principles. Now, when I first started sharing about my purse process, I was so excited because each time I opened my mouth, someone in the room walked up to me and said, "Wow, I have never heard of anyone doing anything like that before." And that was pretty exciting. But then I made a mistake. You see, I assumed that the connection between archaeology and this purse process I'd created would be obvious to everyone. But it turns out it wasn't. And as word about my idea and my process spread, I started to gain a reputation. A reputation as the purse psychic. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of intuition, and I trust my gut feelings, but my phenomenal psychic powers are definitely not how I develop my process. So I've decided that today, for the first time ever, I'm going to reveal the 3 top secret, archaeologists-only principles I built my purse process around. So you guys don't walk out of here thinking, that woman is just a crazy purse psychic. How the heck did she get in here? So here they are. The first principle of archaeology I built the purse process around is that items convey meaning. an item as simple as a pencil conveys meaning. The second principle is that items within a collection convey meaning in relationship to one another. I'm sure I'm not the only one here who remembers the significant relationship between a pencil and a cassette tape, right? Oh, good. I'm not the only oldest person in the room. Good. All right, so the third principle of archaeology I built the PERS process around is that an item or a collection of items conveys the most meaning in their original context. Now, you don't have to really have a grasp of what that means. It's a little bit complex, but by applying these principles of archaeology in a new context, I created opportunities to use my skills and knowledge in new ways. In fact, despite my budding reputation as the PERS psychic, I managed to build a business and an entire online empire with the PERS process as its foundation. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's really creative and good for you, but what does this mean for me? How does this help me? Well, it turns out I'm not the only person out there using my knowledge and skills in unexpected ways. I recently met a man named John Harrison. It was completely random happenstance. We were both attending the same convention. And I was telling John a little bit about my PERS process and how I developed it by applying principles of archaeology to handbags. And John, he had about less than that. Zero interest in handbags, none whatsoever. But when I started telling him how I developed my process, his eyes lit up. And he began telling me how he had built a business and created this entire TEDx talk himself by helping people use the skills they'd learned through playing video games. He used those to help them develop their leadership skills and advance their corporate careers. So it was like the most amazing moment because I found my soulmate. So you might still be thinking, okay, what is the point here? How does that help me? I don't have a background in any of those things. So what I'm really saying here is every single person in this room has knowledge and skills that could be applied in unconventional ways. Let that sink in for a sec. Every single person in this room has knowledge and skills that could be applied in new and interesting and exciting and unconventional ways. You're really only limited by your own creativity. So let me be honest with you. John and I, we went rogue. No one gave us permission to use what we knew this way. And stepping outside the box and blazing your own trail takes a heaping helping of self-confidence and definitely some moxie, I won't lie. But imagine what you might create and how that might change your life or even the world if you took the risk and you did it anyways. Whatever your skills or knowledge, you are not stuck applying them the way everyone else does. I'm a girly girl, and John, he likes to play video games. And with a little courage and creativity, we both get to do what we love and make a positive impact in the world. It's a pretty cool feeling to wake up in the morning and feel like I get to do what I love and I get to help people. But you know something? I remember being in grad school, sitting around a table with a bunch of rugged construction worker type dudes. And in the back of my mind was the voice of self-doubt. She likes to sing to me, actually. She used a song from my childhood. I believe it was from Sesame Street, and you've probably heard it. It goes, "One of these things is not like the others. One of these things does not belong." I knew sitting there at that table that I didn't belong. And everyone in our anthropology department knew that I didn't fit in at all. And to tell you the truth, there are still some days where I feel like I'm nothing more than a huge fraud because I've never even stepped foot onto a conventional excavation site. Digging in the dirt is just not my thing. To tell you the truth, I don't even like gardening. Not at all. So, despite feeling like I might, in reality, be nothing more than an adorable fraud, I keep sharing my personal story and my idea that whatever your skills or knowledge is, you can apply it in unexpected ways. And I do this because I hope that when you see me doing what I like to do in the way I like to do it, you'll give yourself permission to explore how you might use your conventional skills and knowledge in creative ways to change your life or even change the world. It is possible. All it takes is some creativity and some courage. Now, personally, I don't think there's anyone who can stop you from doing this. I have yet to receive a visit from the academic or the archeology police, but just in case that's them with those flashing lights outside, I'm going to hop off this stage, but do me a favor, okay? If they get in here and they question you, tell them the only person you remember seeing this morning was some crazy purse psychic lady, okay? Thank you.